Hey everyone, this is Elaine with Larkin Lane Creations. I want to show you something today, and I've asked my friend Joanne to come in once more and help me with filming. I'm going to take up a wider area, so the camera may get a little wobbly here and there, so be patient with us and don't hold it against me. This is probably the job that, or the project that I've done that I'm the most proud of. And what I did is I took fabric samples and I made, I wouldn't necessarily say a quilt, but throws out of them. I have to tell you, they were so warm and cozy. I mean, they were just great. They're kind of the size that maybe you would throw on yourself while you're on the sofa or sitting in the lazy boy. I don't think they would have even covered a twin-size bed completely. But anyway, they were a big hit, and I'll explain that to you in a little bit. But I wanted to tell you kind of the process I had to go through to get to this point. So the first thing I did, this is kind of how the sample comes. One problem, of course, you see are the grommets. The next thing is this paper is literally stuck on there. There is no getting it off. So in many cases, I had to wash the fabric 3 and 4 times to get that paper to dissolve to the point that I could actually use it. And I wanted to make sure that every piece that I used was already laundered, so that then when the people that I was giving it to received it, they could just throw it in the wash and didn't have to worry about any problems. The thing that this is so important on here is that it tells you what the contents of this fabric are. So of course this one was majority cotton and polyester, so I would wash this one. Again, this one is really stuck. Now, every once in a while you get lucky and it's not stuck, so you can just cut along there. But I still would launder it, but I'd only have to do it once. The other thing that I had to watch, excuse me, let me back up here for a second. These are some that actually have been laundered, and you can still see a little bit of the remnant of the paper. Then it's kind of got a little bit of plastic on it too, and that's fine. I figure that's not going to interfere with the wear of the throw or the quilt, but for the most part it's pretty clean. The next thing that I had to be concerned with was the size of each piece of fabric, because as I did my runs, which I will explain to you in a moment, when I did my runs they had to be the same width. Now the length didn't matter, the width mattered, because I wouldn't want to sew this one to this one, because then look how much waste I have, and that just would cause a whole gamut of problems in trying to assemble the throw. So, and as you can see in this one, they are really skinny compared. So this would have to be a run on itself. Now, the other thing that I did is I tried to, for the most part, keep light colors together in a run. Now, not always would the whole quilt be the same kind of colors, but as you can see, this is a run. All the pieces have been laundered. The top part where the grommets are has been cut off, but I didn't waste this piece here in the middle now, and I'll show you that in a minute too. So this is the run that I just happened to have it left over. So you can see all of the pieces kind of coordinate together, and so once I sewed it together, then I made sure that I did press it all so it was always nice and smooth for me. Now what I did is when I did a bunch of runs, and then I would go through and try to kind of match up colors the best I could. But I really never wanted the seam on the next run to be lined up with these seams, because then that is like sewing like 4 levels or layers of fabric together. I didn't necessarily want to do that. I went through a lot of sewing machine needles. I broke a lot. And I went through a lot of thread doing these. But anyway, so if the seam showed up someplace else along there, that was great. Then it wasn't always so bulky for me to sew. So that's for the most part how it got assembled. Now I want to tell you what I did with the scraps. Once I cut the grommets off of it, I would end up with a piece, give or take. Sometimes it was a little skinnier than this. Then I would cut that piece in half. So when I assembled this, of course, I've got my right side, up. Then I purchased some fleece throws at Walmart. I think they were like $2.50 a piece. And I would lay that on top, and then I bought, of course, batting, and then I laid that on top. So then I would pin together 3.5 sides. And if you know anything about sewing, you pin and sew all the way around, except you need to leave yourself a space that then you can pull it back through so it's all on the right side. So I did that, but then what would happen is there would be like one side that the batting just quite didn't always catch the stitches as I was sewing it together. So I laid it out, pressed the whole thing one more time with the iron. But then what I would do is periodically, and you can kind of see on here, I would take this piece that I have left over and I would space them different places so that then it would hold that batting in place. And of course those pieces, that piece is somewhere on this throw. And then the same thing, as you can see. This actually is 15, maybe even 16 throws. And I say 16 because I did give one to a gentleman at work. But what I did with these is I gave them to a ladies' shelter here in Columbus, Georgia, that is called the Damascus House. And what was amazing about it is they were in the process and getting ready to remodel one of their buildings, for the ladies that came. So the other day, our designer, she went down there. She's been kind of helping them. And she went down there and she took some pictures, and I call these my action shots. But these are the pictures of my throws in action. So as you can see, that's one of their newly remodeled, renovated bedrooms. And so, yeah, there's one of my throws. I was so tickled. Here's another one in action. And as you can see, I had like a run of rusty colors, a run of maybe an olive, a run of tan, and another run of tan. So again, there's one of my throws in action. I am so proud with these. So here's a sitting area, and as you can see, there's one of my throws in action. When I delivered these to those ladies, they were so tickled. Everyone gathered around. They wanted me to unfold each and every one that I took. They were just so tickled with them, and I'm glad to see that they have actually put them to good use. And again, I am so proud of this. So it's something that perhaps you can do in your area. I probably had, 1,000, 1,500 samples of fabric. I needed to do something with them, and what better thing to do but to help a ladies' shelter, a homeless shelter. So I hope that you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope you give me a thumbs up, and that's a thumbs up in this case for more than one thing, for doing this, and a thumbs up to the ladies' shelter, the Damascus House. So I hope you all have a good day, and think of what you can do to help someone else. Thank you much. Bye.